Hey guys, welcome back to Beyond Investing, the channel where we discuss sustainable and innovative investing. In today's episode, we will be discussing the great news coming out of Tesla and NIO. We're also going to do some correlation between the two companies, considering now that NIO is starting to deliver these good numbers, similar to what Tesla was delivering 6 years ago. And we're going to correlate the delivery numbers with the stock prices, comparing the two companies and seeing what's the similarities, is there anything that differs, and is the prices that they are valued at right now something that is fair, or is one of them maybe overpriced? But before we start, guys, these clips do take a while to produce, so I would appreciate a early thumbs up by pressing the like button, and do consider to subscribe and share the content with your friends and family, and ring the notification bell for more content. Now, since we got that out the way, let's listen into how the mainstream media have been covering the news of the record deliveries from both NIO and Tesla. And we'll start with CNBC. They have changed their mind during this year. They used to be pessimistic when it comes to Tesla, but as Tesla has proven to deliver on their targets, reaching their milestones, the story of CNBC has also been changing, and they have been positive to the development within Tesla. So we start to listen into CNBC here.
Meantime, Tesla out with Q4 delivery numbers, putting the company just shy of Elon Musk's goal of 500,000 vehicles sold in 2020. I want to get over to Phil LeBeau, who joins us with that story over the weekend. Phil.
Hi, Andrew. Happy New Year. When you take a look at Tesla's total sales for all of 2020, yes, technically, did they not hit their target of 500,000 vehicles? Yes, but they only fell 450 vehicles short, coming in at 499,550 vehicles delivered last year, essentially 500,000. And again, just 450 vehicles short of the sales guidance. In terms of the fourth quarters, it was really about Model 3 and Model Y. And mainly when you're looking at that, 90% of those sales, Model 3, Model Y, the vast majority of those being Model 3. By the way, this was a record quarter for deliveries for Tesla. Elon Musk tweeting out, "So proud of the Tesla team for achieving this milestone. At the start of Tesla, I thought we had, optimistically, a 10% chance of surviving at all." Well, they've not only survived, they have thrived. Take a look at shares of Tesla now trading at an all-time high, indicating being up to $721 a share this morning pre-market. Guys, the question now becomes, what happens for the delivery guidance for 2021? We will likely get that in 3 or 4 weeks when the company reports its Q4 financial results. That's when they typically say, look, this is what we're expecting to deliver this year. Just for a point of reference, I know the consensus is 780,000 vehicles out there, but that's a very wide range of estimates in terms of what goes into that consensus. I've heard people say 900,000. I've heard people say maybe they could scratch a million vehicles delivered this year. So take that with a grain of salt, but no doubt the stock will be moving higher today.
And what do you think is going to happen at the end of the? I mean, well, there's so many questions because the stock. I mean, I don't even know what to say about the stock. But
right.
if you were to look out 12 months from now in terms of number of vehicles produced and sold, what do you think that number looks like?
Well, the good news for them is that they have now begun production of the Model Y in China. And the Model Y is expected to do very well in China. The Model 3 has done well there. You also have the Gigafactory in Germany that should be coming online a little bit later on this year. And then at the very end of this year, just a few models, not really anything measurable, coming out of the Gigafactory in Texas. At least that's what they're targeting at this point. I would not be surprised if they get well over 800,000 vehicles, close to 900,000 vehicles, Andrew. The Model 3 and the Model Y are both targeted at the sweet spot of the market right now.
So a very reasonable summary here by the reporter at CNBC, Phil LeBeau. And generally, most of the media outlets have been reporting positively on this news. There is, though, some outlets, which I'm showing you here, that have reported in a pessimistic or sarcastic way that Tesla did not reach the 500,000 target that they set out to reach for last year. We have The Verge and Bloomberg stating that essentially Tesla missed the target. And we have The Guardian that also mentions that they almost reached the target, right? These are unfortunately very pessimistic and news that are news outlets that are twisting the reality a bit. Tesla actually reported in their webpage, where this result is the source of all this discussions. They actually say that these numbers can differ by 0.5%. They can either go positive or negative by that margin, right? So it's a very, very small margin we're talking about, but it's just very interesting to see how some of the mainstream media still takes this type of information and twist it towards a negative, while it should actually be celebrated as a positive. This quarter was the record quarter for Tesla. This year was a record year for Tesla, and this is what it should have been reported in the media. So I personally don't understand the pessimism behind these reports, except for the fact that these outlets are wanting to sensationalize this type of stories. They're showing pessimism for a slight drop in the deliveries of Tesla. I think they will be on the wrong side of history when it comes to these type of reporting. Tesla has galvanized a whole industry to go from combustion engines towards a sustainable battery electrical driven cars. This is a huge momentous that they are driving through the whole industry, and this should actually be celebrated instead of being reporting it in a very pessimistic way that they're doing right now. And on the topic of pessimists, I would like to give a moment of silence for the poor souls that managed to short sell Tesla and lost $38 billion during last year. Quite an achievement. I don't know why you would actually short sell a innovative company that is pushing mankind towards sustainability, pushing the whole industry and redefining the whole industry and pushing old players in this industry towards new technology, towards sustainable transportation for humankind, and by that also saving our children's future. So it's a bit astonishing that you lose money in that way. Next, let's listen into the news from NIO and how they were covered in the news when it came to their deliveries for end of Q4 and ending 2020.
Yes, Ray is joining us now because everything is Tesla, 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 but not so fast. NIO, 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 which I don't know how that translates, but NIO is getting some action here.
It sure is. The Chinese electric vehicle company just reported its third quarter results, beating on the top and the bottom line, coming in with revenue of $666.6 million. That came in above estimates. Its adjusted loss per share came in at 14 cents. That's narrower than what the street had been expecting. Its gross margin was 12.9%. That was also a beat. And the company also raised its revenue guidance. That beat estimates. The company says that it's going to be seeing deliveries anywhere between 16,500 to 17,000 vehicles for the fourth quarter. And in their earnings release, founder William Bin Lee highlighted basically a record quarterly deliveries of over 12,000 vehicles in the third quarter, also followed by its best ever monthly deliveries of 5,055 vehicles in October. The stock year to date is up over 1,000%. In after hours, I've seen that it's been a bit volatile. I believe it's down right now. It was in the green earlier. The street has 11 buy ratings on this stock, 5 holds and 2 sells. But really, the NIO story has been its acceleration as far as deliveries are concerned, month over month this year, with October being a record high. Also, leasing its batteries, announcing a launch of leasing its batteries during the third quarter. Its battery swap technology, which it has, and also a liquidity injection that it received during the pandemic. So a lot of bulls out there as far as NIO is concerned.
And as when you take a look at these numbers, though, I mean, 1,000% gain that you were talking about in the stock, how much of this is a bet on the future? Because when you take a look and drill down into the numbers, the vehicle deliveries that you rattled off aren't that impressive when you stack it up against many of the other automakers. And then, of course, they also don't have a lot of vehicles just in terms of models. And I know we're supposed to expect some new models. in the not too distant future. But I still think, though, when you take a look at the stock performance, it almost doesn't add up to what we're seeing from NIO so far.
And that's why you also had short seller Citron Research last Friday, which basically said that the stock is going to go to $25 a share. He said that valuation just can't be justified, citing basically Tesla's market share, its size. And look, when you compare Tesla to NIO, yes, Tesla is much bigger. I mean, NIO had over 5,000 deliveries in October, but Tesla, last year, NIO had 20.5 thousand deliveries. Tesla had 368,000 deliveries. So you can see that Tesla has much larger deliveries. Last month, Tesla delivered more than double what NIO delivered. So, but as far as the pace at which NIO is growing, that's what you're looking at. And you're right, a lot of this is based on the future. Also, keep in mind that the electric vehicle space has had a lot of tailwinds from a lot of capital that's been flowing into these companies. So as Tesla has surged, so have some of these other EV startups. In fact, you had XPeng's vice chairman just last week that was talking to Brian Sozzi saying that the rise of Tesla has helped his company. And also, of course, the incentives in China against air pollution, because China wants to have 25% of its vehicles by 2025 being electric vehicles. So certainly this is what's helping out these EV startups. But NIO is one to watch, one that analysts have been watching, and many analysts saying that they can coexist, that you can't have Tesla and NIO coexisting in China.
So this is Yahoo Finance, and they're giving a bit of a mixed picture when it comes to the deliveries from NIO for 2020. At the same time, they keep doing the same comparison as they used to do with Tesla, comparing NIO with the big auto manufacturers such as VW or Toyota or Ford. But you need to remember that NIO and Tesla and these new players in the industry are just starting up, and people are evaluating and buying their stocks for their future valuations, not their current valuations. Because if it was so that people are buying their stocks and putting these high values on these companies on their current performance and their current deliveries, yes, the prices are overvalued. But again, people are seeing the future of these companies. These companies are breaking into this segment. It's not an easy segment to break into. There's been a lot of consolidation in the auto industry for years now. So it's very tough to break in. And coming in as a new player with new technology, with redefining technology for the industry, you tend to be evaluated for the future potential of the company, not the current state of the company. So what is the estimation for 2021 when it comes to deliveries for these two companies? I believe the estimation, at least for Tesla, is quite easy to analyze and assume, while it is a bit more trickier when it comes to NIO. And I say this because NIO still doesn't control most of their supply chain. They are not as vertically integrated as Tesla is. Tesla has also opened up multiple factories during 2021 and 2019, and will continue to do so in this year. So that opens up for multiple opportunities for them to increase the deliveries, and then it's an easy way to estimate. Here I'm estimating, as you can see, the targets for Tesla. Now, the black numbers in this table are already confirmed, right? We already know that Fremont is producing 590,000 units. We have Shanghai producing the Model 3 at 250,000, and they are then ramping up, and these are the red numbers that I put in front of you here. They're ramping up the Model Y, and we are estimating that they would reach 150,000 during this year. And then the facilities at Berlin is also being completed during this year, and knowing that the compact SUV is a very popular segment in Europe, I believe that Tesla would try to ramp this up as soon as possible, and reaching a delivery of 150,000 during this year. Finally, we have Texas that will also be able to deliver cars during this year. I think for that factory also, we should see a 150,000 deliveries. And so this would total up to almost 1.3 million to be delivered for next year. I know that Tesla was a bit conservative, at least Elon Musk was a bit conservative when that question was posed to him in the latest Q3 shareholder call. He said, or actually there was a question posted to him, which I'm showing you here, stating to him then, would Tesla be able to reach, according to the situation at that time, somewhere around 801 million units for 2021? And he said yes, around that vicinity, right? But I think looking at these numbers again, and based on my estimation and what I think the ambition will be from Tesla's side, I think a 1.3 million units is very achievable. This would also mean, and yes, this would mean that they would in fact be delivering over 160% compared to 2020 delivery numbers. But I think it's very doable, and I think this is also a way for Tesla to come into the valuation that they're having. Tesla just reached $700 billion valuation, and the only way to do that is by exponentially increasing their numbers in terms of deliveries. And I think 1.6 this year, the year after that they need to reach somewhere around 3 million, and essentially going for the target that Tesla set out to reach by 2030 of around 20 million vehicles. When it comes to NIO, I would say the same thing. NIO has to come into their valuation as well with their deliveries. They are valuated at $82 billion, which is bigger than most of the big auto manufacturers combined. So they need to exponentially grow their numbers. And NIO has said before that they are mimicking what Tesla used to do in the early days, right? Doubling and exponentially growing their numbers. There has been some news on this. Latest was the earnings call from NIO in Q3, where they gave some guidance number on this together with their partner JAC. They expect to produce 150,000 during 2021, and then eventually doubling that during 2022 to 300,000. And if NIO pulled this off, they would actually be faster than Tesla's growth in terms of volume production. We know that in 2014 Tesla reached around 30,000. 2015 they only reached 50,000, and then in 2016 they reached around 80,000. But if NIO would manage to do this already this year, reaching 150,000 from a 30,000 level during this year or last year, they would actually be delivering at a much higher level, at a much higher rate than Tesla did in its beginnings. Now I'll put together a quite interesting picture for you guys. It's correlating the stock price together with the delivered volumes for Tesla, and then we're gonna compare that with the development on NIO side and how the price for the stock price for NIO also correlate to the delivery volumes, comparing that with Tesla. But before we do that, I would like to remind you guys that these videos do take some efforts to do, so I would appreciate it if you give us a thumbs up by pushing the like button, and also consider to subscribe for more content. Now let's jump into the analysis. In this graph, you can see the deliveries from Tesla on a quarterly basis. I've summed those deliveries on a yearly basis. So for example, 2013 we have Tesla delivering just below 17,000, 2014 just above 30,000, etc. And then below that you can see the stock price starting that year and ending that year. So for example, 2013 we have them starting at $35, ending up at the $150. 2014 they started the year with a share price of $160 and ended up by the end of that year at 210, and so on. And then it's very interesting to see how NIO then correlates to this. And NIO delivered, as we know, just above 30,000 last year, which is similar to what Tesla delivered in 2014. But if we look at the share price, last year's NIO's share price started at $4 and then ended up at $49, which is actually 4 times lower than what Tesla had in 2014, although Tesla delivered exactly more or less the same numbers as NIO did. And there's not a lot of coverage discussing this point, actually. And I think it's a very interesting analysis, and I would like to open up for discussions with you guys. So do please leave a comment and pose your questions and thoughts around this. Is NIO undervalued compared to Tesla? Or is Tesla overvalued? I know a lot of mainstream media do consider that Tesla is overvalued overall. That might be the case. Tesla is, after all, valuated just around $700 billion, which is almost a combined valuation of all the top 10 auto manufacturers in the world. At the same time, we know that Tesla is not a traditional auto manufacturer. It's more of a technology company venturing into different segments. So to compare them with traditional auto manufacturers, I think is not a fair assessment as well. So again, think about this analysis. Give me your comments, your ideas, your speculation into why NIO, with their similar deliveries in last year compared to 2014 Tesla deliveries, are only valuated at a fourth of what Tesla was valuated in 2014. And how will this story continue? Now, to give you my assumptions and my strategy, I would say that the current price levels for Tesla are too high. I will hold the shares that I have, but I will not continue to buy any more Tesla shares. At the same time, I think the price for NIO is very good. I think it's undervalued considering what NIO is planning to do in the coming years. And you have NIO Day coming up 3 days from now. So it's very compelling to buy more NIO shares. And this is my strategy. I would put more efforts in buying a NIO stock. I've actually doubled my position in NIO stock during the past weeks here. So I will continue to buy those shares as I believe they are undervalued. And with what NIO has set out to do for themselves in the coming years, this stock will definitely triple in the coming 2 years, if not more. So I would definitely focus on that rather than buying the more expensive Tesla stock with its valuation at a very high level right now. And we already know right now that China will become the biggest market for EVs. They are already the biggest market when it comes to cars overall. And in addition, they have started to subsidize the battery substitution model versus the just the charging model in China. And this will play into NIO. NIO is probably the biggest player when it comes to battery substitution, meaning that once your battery has emptied, you have the option of going to a NIO power station, and your battery is substituted within 5 minutes. So you actually are not purchasing the car with a battery. It's rather a battery as a service model, which NIO is in the lead when it comes to this technology, and it's now being also subsidized by the Chinese government since October of last year. They've started to push towards this strategy, right? So this plays more towards NIO being a leader in China when it comes to EVs. Yes, Tesla will also be there, and they will be part of that race. But I believe NIO will become the leader when it comes to EVs, and specifically the luxury SUV and sedan segment. As usual, guys, do your own due diligence before you take any decisions on buy or sell of these stocks. This is just my view on what I will do for these two companies. So thank you guys for listening in. I hope these analysis give you some value in your considerations, what to do with these stocks. I appreciate if you guys would give us a thumbs up. These videos again take a long time to do, so please press that like button. Do consider to subscribe for more content and more deep dive analysis to these type of stocks, and share the content and ring the notification button for more content in the future. Thank you, and see you in the next episode, and stay safe.